All right, 5 minutes and counting. We are live one spot. We are live on the Rampoon channel. Not live on Facebook yet. Not live on YouTube yet. All right. Don't pin me on, please.
I'm not filming you. It's just that you were talking.
Okay. My mic will be off because my audio cannot come through like that. All right. So I'm just taking off my mic right now.
America, love is the answer. Russia, love is the answer. Great Britain, love is the answer. France and Poland, love is the only answer.
You're live on YouTube. 2 minutes to go.
Religious fighting, human rights dying, civilian death squad, terrorism very bad, discriminating against God's race, apartheid, black genocide. I say Iraq, Iran, love is the answer. Northern Ireland, love is the answer. South Africa, love is the answer.
Live in 30 seconds.
I know some of you wouldn't believe me, but if a lie asks me good friend Mac, it was a big lying competition to see who they will crown as lion champion. Liars from all parts of the West Indies, big shot liars from all them foreign countries. From a field about 1,000 or so entry in 2 days, he boiled down and leave just 3. I had me eye on Liar the lion, because I know he does come with some good ones. But they had a younger fella named Debo, come from some village there in Tobago. He say his father is Tobago's best fisherman. Catch a fisherman wide 80 feet in span. He had to tight on the boat and swim back to land to get his brother Eric to give him a hand. You hear lie? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie? Teacher Percy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. Why, sir? Check it out. Liar the lion, he laughed till he sweat. He said, Mr. Debo, ain't say nothing yet. If you really want to hear about fishing, let me blow your mind. Now listen to something. When you're talking about fish, you just hit the spot. I was hoping you did believe it or not. The fish your father caught, to you it was great, but it's them small fish my father does use for bait. Lion went ahead on points in the show, completely eliminated Mr. Debo. The next man to beat was Willie Outrageous. He asked the judges if he could lie first. The judges asked Lion. The lion agreed. Say any topic we'll pick is alright with me. He outrageous, I strong. Let we meet head on. And when we done, see who head fit to wear the crown. You hear lie? That is a lie. Lie? You hear lie? Teacher Percy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. Let it go. Let it go. Shook it up. Yeah. The outrageous say that he knew a tailor comes to making suit. The man in the master. If
afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our third Caribbean folklore storytelling. Today we are focusing on the great old Anansi. We want to say welcome and thank you for coming and spending this wonderful evening with us. We trust that you will truly enjoy and appreciate this experience. Thank you for coming, and I'll speak to you shortly. As you enjoy this short video on persons' perceptions of Anansi. Now this video that you're about to see, you're going to see persons from all over the world telling you how they feel, what they see, what they know about Anansi. They're probably going to tell you about Anansi's wife, Anansi's children. They will even tell you where Anansi is from. Okay? After this production, you will tell me whether you will take a sip on their interpretation or their knowledge of Anansi, or if you're going to have to instruct them or tell them a little more about our brother Anansi. Alright, there seems to be a little technical difficulty with our technology just for a little bit. We're about to see that video. Okay, so we'll come back to that video shortly. Oh, here it is.
Heard about stories about Anansi. From the time I was a child, I always heard about stories about Anansi the spider. I grew up just hearing about these stories. Actually, I can't really recall the first moment that I heard a story about Anansi because the stories were very popular and it was just like common to hear about him.
Even if we use Anansi stories as forms of entertainment, but there are lessons to be learned and lessons that one can learn from these stories. And indeed, they are important to our children, even in this era. One of the significant things about Anansi stories is that they teach self-confidence. So notwithstanding the entertaining part of it, but there is always that part of the story that shows Anansi to be someone who is willing to take on feats that are much bigger than his natural ability can handle, so to speak. But again, it goes back to his power of thought, his ability to think. And mixed with the self-confidence that he has, Anansi no doubt has been that character that shows individuals, once they believe in themselves, what they can achieve. Something I think that all of us as individuals need to ponder on and indeed pass these necessary traits onto our children.
Is a wicked spider that lives inside of this man. Listen, when he is good, he is really good. But when Anansi is bad, he is so bad. He plays dirty tricks on people, tells a lot of lies, fool people and deceive them. Don't trust Anansi here, you real bad.
Who is Bro Anansi?
Who is Anansi?
Anansi is a spider from Africa.
What do you know about Anansi?
I know that he's lazy and he's not going to do things the hard way.
You say he's he, so he's a he, a she, or a thing? Okay. Was Anansi ever married or was he single?
He was single.
And Do you know where in Africa he came from?
No.
Do you like Anansi?
I'm not the type of person who's gonna read these books and watch them every day, but I'm interested in.
Thank you.
So, what Anansi story means to you?
Well, some of my fondest memory of Anansi stories is more or less this Caribbean folklore that our parents used to tell us when we were younger. Of course, of this more or less fictitious made-up character, which was a trickster, very cunning, or what we call in Jamaica, Jill. That's some of my fondest memories.
And you? Anansi comes from Africa. Let's see. Cunning. Can outsmart anyone? Anansi years ago.
Anansi. I think my dad brought Anansi from Grenada.
Anansi is from Dominica.
Anansi goes for the world away! Anansi is a West African character who appears in stories that have been told for centuries. Anansi is sharp, tricky, and clever. Anansi uses his mind to outsmart others to make them do his work.
Anansi is from St. Kitts. He lives right across the street from the Brimstone Hill Fortress.
Bro Anansi came from St. Lucia. He came from right here, next to the Pitons. Come, Vinny, come see him right next to the Pitons.
Anansi is often referred to as tricky. However, in reality, this African folklore reaffirms the notion of brains over brawn, where might is not always right.
Anansi came from the Ashanti people.
I think Anansi came from Trinidad and still lives right in Woodford Square. Right in Woodford Square on the bandstand. In the thick of things. So as soon as Carnival comes, Anansi could be right ready for the panorama.
Every child, every Caribbean child should be told, not should be, must be told an Anansi story. You know what? I think Anansi lives in Barbados, you know.
Anansi viene de Puerto Rico.
Boys and girls, hello. Do you know Anansi? Do you love Anansi stories? Have you ever heard a story about Anansi? Now, Anansi stories came from Africa, from our parents who were slaves. And these stories have passed on from generation to generation. And Anansi himself is a very flamboyant character who is very, very tricky. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our Anansi stories today.
I wonder when it's story time. I really miss story time. Me too. Hey! It's Anansi story time. Yeah!
How was that, guys? How was that? Anansi, our views and who and what Anansi is. Some misconceptions or some truths. What do you think? Okay, somebody just sent me a message and tell me that Anansi living in Barbados because they see my hairstyle. You understand what I'm saying? They see my natural hairstyle and trying to tell me, try to comb my hair, but we're doing Anansi. You understand? So you got to come with things, Anansi. So again, I want to thank those persons who participated and submitted their videos. I got myself all the videos. I must apologize. I could not show all the videos because people started calling politicians names. They calling politicians Anansi, saying that they're tricky. People don't get me locked up. I can't put some of those. We also had this woman calling and telling me that her husband is Anansi. He tricky. And somebody calling and tell me all Caribbean men are like Anansi because they're tricky. Right? I don't know what you guys agree with, but look, all I know is that Anansi is wheaty, right? I can't tell you where Anansi comes from, but hopefully by the end of this presentation that we have here, you will have some idea as to where Anansi comes from. So I want to say thank you to those persons who participated and submitted their lovely videos. All right. We'll get into the introductions because we have an amazing lineup, guys. Amazing lineup today. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. And right here we have Dr. Amina Meek. Sorry, I got to get this right. This woman just put me in trouble, just so you know. This Jamaican demand, I tell you. Right here we have Dr. Amina Meek. No. Let's try again. Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks. That's her right there from Jamaica. All things Anansi. If you want to know about Anansi, I want you to go onto her website. Check out aminameeks.com. And you would find out all things Anansi. She's coming for you. You're going to see her a number of times tonight, you guys. You have to hear Dr. Amina Blackwood. Teachers, pay attention. You see how you just get children in trouble? You corrected me, and I just see everything went out the window. All right? So Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks, thank you. It's a pleasure having you here. Guys, we're moving on over to England. This is Miss Lisa Thomas, often called Miss Lisa Thomas Levi, right? She has Canadian roots. And if you look on the bottom of the screen, you're going to see her website streaming right there. Go on to her website and check her out, okay, guys? You get all the information. I know you guys are not here to hear me talk. So we want to get on with the storytelling because we have a lovely lineup for you guys today. Now, we're going to move on over to that place called the Bahamas. And you know the Bahamas have a whole lot of islands. We have this Miss Kimberly Mutra from Freeport in the Bahamas. Guys, she survived that hurricane. So we got to show our presenters some love, guys. Again, you can check her out on YouTube. Not there. Thank you very much. Now we're moving on. We're moving on over really quickly, and we're going down. It's down we're going, right? My geography is not working too well. So I think we're going down to Belize. We're going down to Belize, guys. Meet Miss Charlotte Neal Lopez. She's an author, she's an actor, she's all things Caribbean. You just have to meet Miss Lopez. You're going to hear a little bit more about her later. And guys, be excited from Antigua. From Antigua, guys, we have Dr. Anthony Richards representing Antigua. He's an actual biochemist, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to find out a little more about Dr. Richards later. And thank you, Dr. Richards. Guys, we are going to welcome, and we're going to say welcome to this lovely lady here from the beautiful Yes, she's representing Anansi story. You can check her out on tambule.com. You're gonna see her website streaming. Check her out. You get lots of information there. And if you want to buy some Caribbean toys, guys, you know how we don't identify with things that are us. We want to get a Barbie. No, you can get your toys that's Caribbean people. Check out tambule.com and you might see a Junior Murray, Shonda Paul. You may see all things that are Caribbean. You may even see Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks in there. I think I got it right. Right? So check out tambule.com. All right? And then hi Dawn. Guys, we have a lovely 10-year-old. Check out this handsome young man who is conscious enough to participate in things us. This is Mr. Kai Belgrave from Barbados, the beautiful island of Barbados. Welcome, Kai. Thank you for participating. And then we zoom on up to Florida. There's absolutely no COVID in this beauty. Absolutely no COVID in this beauty. Living in Fort Lauderdale of Grenadian Dominican parentage. You can't get better than that. Miss Aria Noel. Miss Aria Noel. Thank you, Aria, for participating. Isn't she a beauty? You guys got to see her outfit later. You got to see it. You got to see it. We got to go on over. We're going to leave Fort Lauderdale and we're going to do a little layer thing. We're going to hop on over to Barbados to the amazing. This little 9-year-old who will be celebrating her birthday next month. Next month. I'm not too sure we should say, are you 10 yet or should we wait until next month? Sari Green. Sari Green from Barbados. She says no. She's ready. She's not ready to grow up too fast. Good for you. All right. So thank you, Sari Green from Barbados, for participating. And we have some other storytellers, guys, and I think we may have a little issue with our technology. And as they come in, I'm going to introduce them a little bit more because there is a thunderstorm in Grenada. So I'm not too sure what's happening there, but we're going to introduce our other storytellers as they pop in, okay? So I know you're excited. I know you're waiting for our in-house storytellers, but they will be here. They will be here. And I want to say thank you, guys. Let's put our hands together. Let us all put our hands together and say thank you to all our storytellers. Let's go.
All right.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful. Thank you, guys. And I know you're not here to hear me talk. I know you're not here to hear me talk. So I'm going to turn you over to that amazing lady that I have to be very careful when I'm pronouncing her name. I got the doctor right. I got Amina right. I got Blackwood right. And I got Meeks right. 4 points for me.
You're done good. You're done good. Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity to share with storytellers around the region, wherever they are in the world, and to share the amazing culture of Anansi and Anansi stories. When we tell stories in Jamaica, we tend to begin with a song, and so I'd like to share one of those songs with you today, and I'd like to invite you to participate. Now, Anansi stories, like Caribbean people, have rhythms. So all you have to do is rock this way and that way, and this way and that way. Everybody doing that? Okay. But we're not going to be saying no this way and that way and rock this way and that way. We're going to be saying Mida rock so, you da rock so, under banyan tree. Mida rock so, you da rock so, under banyan tree. And then we have inherited the tradition of telling stories in the moonlight. So here comes the verse. Moonshine tonight, come make we dance and sing. Moonshine tonight, come make we dance and sing. Your turn. Me da rock so, you da rock so, under banyan tree. Me da rock so, you da rock so, under banyan tree. And because we have manners, we greet each other like this. Ladies may curtsy, gentlemen may bow. Ladies may curtsy, gentlemen may bow. Your turn. Me da rock so, you da rock so, under banyan tree. Me da rock so, you da rock so, under banyan tree. And just before the first story begins, we have to make a circle and we have to join hands. Then we join hands and dance around and round. Then we join hands and dance around and round. This is your last opportunity to rock. Are you ready? Let's go. Me da rock so, under banyan tree. Me da rock so, you da rock so, under banyan. You are wonderful. Me da rock so, under banyan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks. I gotta give you some love. I gotta give you some love. I gotta give you some love. You know, some Wakanda love there for you. Some Wakanda love. We gotta give you some Wakanda love. Thank you very much. Okay? We continue, and we continue, and we're moving on over. Now we're moving on over. We go into Dr. Richard. Dr. Richard, he is going to be telling us a little bit. Help us understand. Give us a little bit on the origin of things Anansi. Remember, Dr. Richard is a biochemist, a proper qualified biochemist. This is who we are. Dr. Anthony Richard, thank you.
Howdy, everybody. As usual, you know, I am wearing my Karaili, my Cersei bush on my head, right? And that reminds us of what they do, where Anansi comes from. Anansi, although you can find his stories being told all over the world now, perhaps the first people to name him as Anansi were the people of Ghana, and not just everybody in Ghana, but the Ashanti, the Fanti, and their relatives. These people are called the Akans, and we know the Ashanti the best. Now, in their country, on special occasions, very special occasions, the king and the high priests will adorn themselves in this Cersei bush, this Karaili, which they call Nyanya. Right? This is their crown of glory. It represents purification and it represents protection. It is from these people that we get the name Anansi, but they call him Kweko Anansi. We also get the name Tukuma. Tukuma is the son of Anansi, but in the Caribbean we remember him mostly as just one of the other animals. The Ashanti, Fanti, Akayim, Akwamu, and all the other Akans, they give us so much of our Caribbean culture. Words like Dukana, words like Konki, the foods we eat, right? Words like Kuku, right? Words like Duppy. You can, if you think about it, you can even be a Fanti or a Shanti all day. When you wake up, you can wipe Nyampi from your eye. You can take out your Yaba and cook some Dukana. You can put your Kata on your head and go down the road to Konkonsa against somebody. You know, you can work Obia. You can drink tea of Nunu Bush. All of these parts of our culture and many more come from these special people, the Akans, the Fanti, the Shanti, in Ghana. From them, the Anansi stories spread around to the rest of the world. And perhaps some people have even stolen the Ashanti story and turned it into Spider-Man. If we look a little deeper and a little further across Africa, we'll see that the idea of a trickster like Anansi is not unique to Ghana. Over in the Caribbean, we talk about Rabbit, and so in the United States, in the Creole countries, you say Compé Lapin, which is the same, Rabbit. So in Ghana, there are some cultures who talk about the clever rabbit. Others talk about the clever hare in Nigeria, and over in Uganda, they talk about the clever squirrel. Always there's the trickster, which is there to teach us something. But Anansi plays a very special role in Ghana. There, Anansi represents a very special aspect of God the Father, Nyame. It represents creativity and creation. Anansi is the creature that can spin a web. And so today, Anansi even stands for technology in our minds. Anansi's wisdom is so profound that he's considered the God who brought us the stories, the wisdom, and even weaving. I'm wearing over my shoulder a piece of kente, the cloth from Ghana, and you can see it's woven from all these fine strands. And there Anansi represents weaving. The king of the Ashanti does not speak for himself. When he is enthroned and in the public, he's spoken for by a representative, his spokesman or linguist. And this man hears what the king says and then relays it to you and me with flowery language, with proverbs and wisdom. This is the linguist or spokesman, the Akim. And he has his staff of office. And on the top of his staff of office, there's generally an Anansi spider. Yes, Anansi spider, and there's his web. And on two sides of him, you can see the weavers working on the same fabric. That's the fabric, the kente cloth that I showed you. And there's a kente cloth right here behind me, a great big kente cloth. So thank you, right? And let's get into story time. Bye.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richards. And we cannot say Anansi stories. I don't think we should say, after that, we should say Anansi stories. Anansi has to be a way of life for us. The weaving, the wisdom. Don't you think you would want some of Anansi's wisdom today? You think Anansi can come up with a cure, not necessarily a vaccine. You think Anansi can get one of those little bush that we have around here to cure the COVID? Dr. Richards, you think so? That Anansi would find the cure for COVID, or he could? I think he can. Thank you very much. That was some information that it is much needed and much relevant today, Dr. Richards. Thank you very much. Again, you're going to see Dr. Richards again. I know he wouldn't be happy in hearing that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have an apology to make. I do have to apologize. Before we start the story time, I forgot to introduce Miss Amma Small. And I have to sleep in the same house with this young child tonight. She will be celebrating her birthday tomorrow. She will be 10 years old. So it wasn't deliberate that I forgot her birthday. She's not impressed. So I just want to put my hands together and give her 10 claps and congratulate her on becoming 10 tomorrow. Okay? So without further ado, I want the children, our girls, and our boy to stand by. They're going to do a story for you, Anansi and the Sky God. You know what? Every time we do the stories and we ask these young ones to participate, they're always excited and they're always willing. And I do check in with them after the stories. And it will be amazing the things that they learn, the things that they accept, the things that we forget, that they remember all the time. So we are sowing that seed. Our future is going to be in good hands. It is going to be in good hands. And it's going to start with these lovely young ladies. Okay, we're going to start off with the beautiful Miss Aria Noel. Then we're going to zip on over to Kite Spellgrave, and they're doing the same story. And then Sari Green and Amma Small. Okay, so you guys, you know what time you're coming. So thank you very much. And they're ready to go.
Anansi, how stories and Ashanti living. It was long ago in Africa, child, when there was first spider Kwaku Anansi. He went everywhere throughout the world, traveling on his strong web strings, sometimes looking more like a wise old man than a spider. In that long ago time, child, there were no stories on earth for anyone to tell. The sky god kept all stories to himself up high in the sky and locked away in a wooden box. These the spider wanted as many creatures had before him, so that he can know the beginnings and endings of things. Yet all who had tried for the stories had returned empty-handed. Now Anansi climbed up his web to the sky god Nyame to ask for the sky god stories. Child, when the powerful sky god saw the thin, spidery old man crawling up to his throat, he laughed at him. What makes you think that you of all creatures can pay the price I ask for my stories? Spider only wanted to know, what is the price of the stories? My stories have a great price. Four fearsome, elusive creatures. Onini, the python that swallows men whole. Osebo, the leopard with teeth like spears. Miboro, the hornets that swarm and sting, and Moesha, the fairy who is never seen. Bring these to me. Bowing, the spider quietly turned and crept back down through the clouds. He meant to capture the four creatures he needed as price for the stories.
He first asked his wife Azu how he might capture Onini, the python that swallows men whole. She told him a plan, saying, "Go and cut off a branch of a palm tree and some string keeper as well. See these to the stream where the python lives." As Anansi went to the swampy stream, carrying these things, he began arguing aloud. "This is longer than he. You lie. No, it is true. This branch is longer, and he is shorter, much shorter." The python was listening and asked a spider what was talking about. "What are you muttering, Anansi? I tell you that my wife Azo is a liar, for she says that you are longer than the palm tree, and I say you are not." Onini the python said, "Come and place the branch next to me, and we will see if she is a liar." And so Anansi put the palm branch next to the python's body and saw the large snake stretch himself along it. Anansi then bound the python with the string creeper and wound it over and over. "Nuwendi! Nuwendi! Nuwendi!" until he came to the head. The Spider-Man said to Onini, "Fool! I will not take you to the sky god." This as Anansi did as he spun a web around the snake to carry him back through the clouds to the sky kingdom. On seeing the gigantic snake, Naaman merely said, "There remains what still remains."
Spider came back to Earth to find the next creature, Osebo, the leopard with teeth like spears. His wife Azo told him, "Go dig a large hole." Anansi said, "I understand, say no more." After following the tracks of the leopard, Spider dug a very deep pit. He covered it over with the branches of trees and came home. Returning in the very early morning, he found a large leopard lying in the pit. "Leopard, is this how you act? You should not be prowling around at night. Look at where you are. Now put your paw here and here, and I will help you out." The leopard put his paws up on the sticks Nancy placed over the pit and began to climb up. Quickly, Nancy hit him over the head with a wooden knife. "Down!" Leopard fell back into the pit. "Hum!" Nancy quickly spun the leopard to the sticks with his web string. "Fool, I am taking you to pay for the sky god stories." But the sky god received the leopard, saying, "There remains what still remains." Next, the spider went looking for Umboro, the hornets that swarm and sting. Spider told his wife Azo what he was looking for, and she said, "Look for an empty gourd and fill it with water." This the spider did, and he went walking through the bush until he saw a swarm of hornets hanging there in a tree. He poured out some of the water and sprinkled it all over their nest. Cutting a leaf from a nearby banana tree, he held it up and covered his head. Then he poured the rest of the water from the gourd all over himself. Then, while he was dripping wet, he called out to the hornet, "The rain has come. Do you see me standing here with a leaf to cover my head? Fly inside my empty gourd so that the rain will not beat at your wings." The hornet flew into the gourd saying, "Thank you, Anansi. Thank you, Anansi." Anansi stopped at the mouth of the gourd and, spinning a thick web around it, said, "Fools! I am taking you to the sky god as a price for his stories." The sky god Name accepted Umboro, the hornets that swarm and sing, and said, "What remains still remains."
Anansi knew very well what remained. It was the fairy Moesha, who is never seen. When the spider came back to Earth, he asked Azul what to do, and so he carved an Akua's child, a wooden doll with a black face, and covered it with sticky fluid from a tree. Walking through the bush, he found the wooden tree where the fairies liked to play. Then he made Itio pounded yams and put some in the doll's hands, and even more of the yams in a brass basin at her feet, there by the wooden tree. Anansi next hid in the bushes with a fine creeper in his hand that was also tied to the doll's neck. It wasn't long before the fairies came, two sisters to play. They saw the doll with the Itio and asked if they could have some. Anansi made the doll head nod yes by pulling on the string creeper. Soon the fairies had eaten up all the Itio and so thanked the doll, but the doll did not reply. The fairies became angry. One sister said, "When I thank her, she says nothing." The other sisters replied, "Then slap her in her crying, please." This the fairy did. She slapped its feet, pa! But her hand stuck there. She slapped it with her other hand, pa! And that hand stuck too. She kicked it with both one foot, then the other, and both feet stuck to the sticky wooden doll. Finally, she pushed her stomach to it, and that stuck. Then a Nazi came from his higher place and said, "Fool, I have got you, and now I will take you to the sky god to buy his stories once and for all." A Nazi spun a web around the last of the four creatures and brought Moesha up to Niam in the Sky Kingdom. The sky god, seeing this last catch, called together all his nobles. He put it before them and told them that the spider had done what no one else could have been able to do. He said in a loud voice that rang in the sky, "From now and forever, my sky god stories belong to you. Cos, my blessings, my blessings, my blessings. And we will now call these spider stories." And so, child stories came to the earth because of great cunning Kwakunatsi and his wife Azul.
When Anansi brought the wooden box of stories home, he and his wife eagerly learned each one of them. And you can still see today that Aku and Azo tell their stories.
Everywhere in love, this has been their web for all to see.
The story ends.
The wire bend.
I want a pen.
To write me Nanan.
Guys, let's get some feedback in here. Let's get some feedback in here. Oh, shoot. Thank you. How are they, guys?
Smashing.
Smashing.
Good afternoon to everybody, and it was excellent. Really, really good.
Really good. Nice. Excellent. I think they were really good. Our future is in good hands. We have to continue encouraging our young people as we continue with the storytelling. Belize, stand by Belize, stand by Charlotte as we continue with the storytelling. But I just wanted to check in and see who brought the snacks. I want to check in and see who brought the snacks. I brought mine. Anybody else? How do you call this again? This is an eggplant. I don't know which part of it is an egg or why they call it an eggplant. Oh yeah, I love eggy, right? So I have my snack. Anybody else? We have, let's see. We got, wait, I see something green here. I see Dr. Albert and bring nothing. He keeping everything in Trinidad. Them corn and them will stay wavy. Dr. Anthony, what you have here, Dr. Anthony?
That's Corelli, bitter melon. Corelli, we call it. Bitter melon, yeah.
Sarah, big Corelli.
Oh, okay, so that's some good snacks. They have the look, this girl up here, you see this girl across the pond, she just get me on my nerves. Because I don't understand where she does find these things from, and I can't get none. I can't. Today I'm waiting for y'all. I have some real good things going on here. Anybody else have snacks? Besides that little British girl? Anybody else with their snacks?
What is that? What is that?
It's a mango.
Oh, a green one.
Listen, I'm in the UK, okay? That's how you get them.
I have a plantain.
Oh, plantain.
Wait. Sorry, you have some snacks? What do you have, Sarah? Well, Sorry has your plantain. Sorry, you're steaming the plantain, or you frying them? Or you eating them?
One too.
Listen to me, guys. How everybody have plantain, and then plantain didn't even look as though they come from your backyard. To make sure you guys know mine come from my backyard. Right?
Oh, good.
Plantain. Anybody else with snack is Lion or anybody checking in on the Facebook page to tell us what is going on. What is going on? Any comments on the Facebook page? Are you guys enjoying yourselves? It's all a Nancy story. We have the wonderful young people from the wonderful young people from Barbados and the US. All right? And just pay attention. They're all us. They are us.
I have to say, the diction, the pronunciation of the young people really, I'm feeling a little bit emotional. I'm sorry, my mom is no longer alive because she taught English and French. And I'm in Princeton by a colleague here right now, near to where my mom was born, and she would have been very proud of what these young people are doing. I feel I can't say much more right now. That was really good. Really
well,
good.
thank you very much, Dr. Anthony, for sharing. We're going to hear a little bit more from you a little bit later. As we move on over to, anybody have a time check? Let's check our time check, because I know you guys tell me you guys are not here to hear about me, but we have this wonderful lady here from Belize, and she is an author. She's an actor. I got to, well, sorry, Charlotte, but I got to interject here a little bit. I said an actor. The gentleman, Dr. Albert just come and said about diction, right? I thought his mom was going to be proud of this. I just as he mentioned diction, my diction gone. And I know I don't have no time, listen to me, I have no time with Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks. You understand what I say? I gotta make sure I get it right. So Charlotte Lopez from Belize, actor, teacher, lecturer, public speaker, instructor, consultant, things who we are, is going to share, and she's going to take you to church with Anansi today. She's going to take you to church with Anansi today. Thank you very much, Charlotte.
Good evening, everyone. Greetings from Belize, Mother Nature's best kept secret. And this evening, I would like to share a story with you from my book, Belizean Storytime. And this story is called Anansi Goes to Church. So let's find out, why would Anansi go to church? It's an unlikely place to find Anansi, right? But let's find out what brought Anansi to church. It was a warm Sunday, pretty much like today. and it was well past 11. And Nancy hadn't eaten since morning, and the afternoon meal wasn't looking promising either. He walked up and down Albert Street, scouting out any opportunity that would present itself, but not a morsel was in sight. Many housewives were busy in their kitchen preparing what Anansi could only imagine must be lavish Sunday dishes. He closed his eyes as he imagined the taste of rice and beans, stewed chicken, potato salad, and ripe fried plantain. Of late, Anansi was down on his luck. Even his sweet talk wasn't working its magic. He had to find a way to survive. The thought of a regular job made him shiver. He watched his friends sweat from dusk till dawn, lifting heavy loads and running errands in the blazing midday sun. No, he couldn't live like that. He could not part with his leisurely afternoon rest. He didn't see why he should have to toil so hard all day. After all, what time would be left to enjoy the simple pleasures of life? As he rested under the shade of the bus stop, he noticed a sign which said, "Come to church on Sunday and be blessed. Dinner will be served immediately after." Yes, his prayers were answered. And Nancy made the sign of the cross and said, "Thank God," as he creased the wrinkles from his shirt and he strutted down to church singing, "Amazing Grace." This was the only song Nancy knew. He arrived at church and took a seat all the way in the back. At the same time, he was thinking, last in, first out. This way, whenever the food was being served, he would be the first to make it out of church onto the lawn. Anansi didn't hear a word Pastor Leon was saying. What he was doing was summing up the size of the crowd and wondering if he could get a second helping. He was also interested in knowing how often this feeding would take place. When he glanced at the altar, he noticed there was an altar call, and some people were going up to the altar. But yet Pastor Leon kept budging. "Oh, there is one more, brothers and sisters. There is one more. Don't be ashamed. Come right up and receive your blessing today." Man and Nancy wondered how long this would continue. But as he looked around, nobody ventured to the altar. Then he decided, I would go just to get this service over and be done with so we could get to the eating part. He marched up to the front of the altar and Pastor Leon said, "Welcome, brother. Do you want to know Christ?" "Yes," said Anansi. He was thinking anything to get out of here and get to the eating part. There was much praying and rejoicing. The pastor said he was lost, but now he has been found. He was blind, but now he can see. He was hungry, but now he shall eat. And Nancy thought. Finally, the hymn was sung and the congregation was dismissed. But before Anansi and the others who went to the altar could leave, Pastor Leon then beckoned them to the side and talked to them a little. He said, "Come, I need to talk to you a little and guide you as to what you should expect as a new believer." And Nancy was strapped. He could not escape. He could not believe this was happening to him. He painfully watched as the rest of the congregation filed out to the lawn from where Anansi could smell the food and he heard the song of laughter. Anansi's belly growled loudly as Pastor Leon went on about the serious step that Anansi and the others had taken. Anansi was sure he would faint and not from the Holy Spirit, from hunger. After what seemed like forever, Anansi made his way to the lawn to get his portion. He was going to make up for the misery he just went through. When he approached the table with his big dish, Sister Mabel asked, "Didn't you just accept Christ, Brother Anansi?" "I sure did," Anansi proudly declared, hoping that Sister Mabel would recognize that he was one of them. "God is good, and I am sure so is the food, sister," joked Brother Anansi. "Ah, but didn't you know," said Sister Mabel, "there is a practice in this church. On the day you receive Christ, you must fast and pray for the entire day. This is the only way to deny the flesh so that you can truly feel His presence. Surely this must be a joke. But I don't understand," stuttered Anansi. He looked around at all the others laughing and eating. And for the first time in his life, he realized that he had outsmarted himself. As he walked away sadly, and just before he stepped on a pin, he recalled his grandfather's word: "Don't play with God, boy. You won't win." Thank you. And Nancy goes to church.
Hey, thank you.
Yes, and that's the get sanctified. Now she say, now you hear Dr. Anna, you hear Dr. Richard sit only and tell you that that Anansi is a brilliant man. He's a man of wisdom. All of a sudden, Anansi get greedy. So now I understand what the people were talking about. Guys, give me a comment in the chat. Give me a comment in the chat. What you thought? What you thought about the lovely Miss Lopez? Miss Lopez, we have people saying that you're lovely. Miss Dodd something very entertaining story. Adia, that was great. Dr. Albert Charles, indeed. Miss Small, Angelina Small. Poor Nancy. You're sorry for Nancy go get out of that. I'm not too worried about Nancy at all, at all, at all. Let's zip on over to Facebook and hear what's going on. We don't want to leave the Facebook people out at all, at all, at all. So Tanya Edwards, Miss Lopez, you know Tanya Edwards? She said, listen to what she says. She said, "I agree, Miss Lopez, bring me back to my childhood in Jamaica. Thoroughly enjoyed her oration." Listen to Colin. Colin said, "LOL. Fellow Jamaican here. Great work, Charlotte. Carolyn Franklin, no man. Don't do he so, man." And she laughing hard. So Charlotte, you have the people laughing. And then we have Alette saying, "Awesomeness. Sweet, enjoyable, amazing." All right, but we have somebody picking up the fraternity of medical doctors. We massive in Anansi today. And we also have Dr. Charles. Oh Lord, I am so sorry. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that name. But he says, "Thanks for your awesome support." Oh no, sorry. That was from Tanya. She's saying, "Dr. Charles, thanks for your awesome support." Miss Thomas, "Bitter melon is great for blood sugar." Oh, y'all hear that? Any diabetics in the house? We gotta go back. We gotta go back and confirm this. Dr. Richard, then people telling us here on YouTube that bitter watermelon is good for blood sugar. That is so?
This is the bitter melon, the Cerasea cariide. Yes, in the laboratory and in patients, it does lower the blood sugar. Now, in the past, people thought that it was just a trick. They thought that when you take the leaves as tea, that it only masked the blood sugar and hid it. And that was the case in the urine test. But in the blood test, it does indeed show that the blood sugar is taken down. You should take cariide. If you have type 2 diabetes, you should take it in consultation with your doctor.
So, okay, but so if you're on medication, before you start taking it, you should consult your doctor, or do you think it's gonna, they would have some kind of adverse effect if you mix the both of them?
It is powerful medicine. Take it in consultation with your doctor.
Okay.
You're already on medication.
Okay. If I may add to that, the polypeptide compounds in the bitter melon, as in some other natural foods, and what Dr. Richards is saying is quite right, because there's some things that are contraindicated once you're taking certain types of medication. The thing with bitter melon, because it also, there are compounds in it that help liver function. You don't want to, how should I say, it helps to regulate and clean the blood. But now you have different blood types. Some people have blood types that have antigens. Some people have blood types with antibodies. So that is why you need to be careful. But it is very good in terms of cleaning and boosting the blood and also helping liver function.
You see why? You see why you have to come to Caribbean folklore? You see why you have to come to the stories? You see why you have to listen to Rampoon radio?
I didn't know Anansi went to church.
You didn't even know Anansi went to church?
No, the last time I went to...
When you were thinking, he was chronologized too. I think Bishop, that Trinidadian Bishop and Trinidadians, and then go jump up over here. You go here to jump up because it's like Bishop Clyde Harvey, real bad. Bishop Clyde Harvey would have to come in and confirm that if Anansi go to church. Bishop Harvey, give us a comment. Give us a little comment. Let me see what's going on there. Let's see what's going on there. All right. We, in the interest of time, we're moving. Thank you, Charlotte. Well done, well received. We're going to move on over to Linda, who is the co-author of the book that she's going to be doing. Husband, wife, and she has to talk about her co-author, Kevin. She's an attorney at law. And today, we're happy to have you. And she is from the beautiful island of Grenada. Thank you, Linda.
Greetings, everyone, from the Isle of Spice. Today, I'm going to be reading Tamboulay's A Delicious Decision. Now, this is one of the books in the Anansi trilogy. The first one is Anansi, King of the Jungle, and the third is Pandemic in the Jungle, where Anansi may or may not find a cure that we were talking about earlier. So I'm going to start. This book has been beautifully written and illustrated by Kevin Dolan, and I'll show you some pictures from time to time. So let's get started. Today in the jungle, we see our good friend Anansi, fast asleep, cuddled into his cozy bed, having what he thinks is his best dream ever. Anansi, King of the Jungle! Anansi, King of the Jungle! Anansi, King of the Jungle! Anansi woke up from his mid-morning nap and smiled to himself. Anansi, King of the Jungle, eh? I could get used to that. Anansi's stomach rumbled rudely, interrupting his royal thoughts. But the King of the Jungle deserves a king's feast, and I am ready to eat. I wonder what Hamish the bush pig has cooking today. He always has something on the fire. So with thoughts of somebody else's food to fill his meager belly, Anansi left his home and made his way to Hamish's pig's cabin. Oh yes, that's more socially acceptable for Hamish and his fancy days. As Anansi walked through the jungle, thinking about all the tantalizing options he could convince Hamish to make, you know, like coconut rice and peas, cheesy corn pie, sweet cinnamon pumpkin pie. You don't know Caribbean food nice? He was interrupted by a flurry of voices. Anansi, I hope you clean up that heap of cobwebs you made yesterday when you were playing cards, you know, shouted Anne-Marie Aunt. Yes, I'll do it when I come back, answered Anansi. Instead for her to help me clean it, he grumbled. What you say there, Anansi? Responded Anne-Marie Aunt. I said I'll clean the mess, I really mean it. Anansi scurried off. But before he could bend the next corner, it was, Anansi, You still didn't bring back my blender you borrowed from 3 months ago. This was from Miss Cricket. Check again, Miss Cricket. I'm sure I brought it back last week after I used it last night. So I'll drop it off later. That man Anansi could bramble. He couldn't understand why these animals were harassing him this early midday instead of recognizing that he really should be their leader. And as he crossed the road to take a shortcut off of the beaten path going down to the river, Anansi stumbled into Vaughn the vegan lion just as he was finishing his jungle patrol. Anansi observed how all the other animals flocked around Vaughn with oohs and ahs of admiration as he settled under a tree to shelter the tropical sun. What's so special about Vaughn anyway? Is it the colorful mane, the big muscles, or is it that he's vegan and a good example for everyone? Psh, nah, they just don't know better is what? They don't realize how awesome I am. They think bigger means better, but they need to learn it's brains over brawn in this here jungle. It's time for them to realize who the real king of the jungle is. Me! Anansi, king of the jungle. I've just finished the patrol of the south side of the jungle and everything is as it should be, reported Vaughn to the awe-inspired animals. The tree trunk in the river that was disrupting the flow of the waterfall has been removed. I've settled the issue between the iguanas and the monkeys. I spoke with the crocodiles about leaving the rabbits alone. You know, friends, the worst thing is when large animals take advantage of small animals. I don't understand why we just can't get along. It really bothers me. And Anansi listened carefully to everything Vaughn was saying. Anansi cleared his throat to take center stage and present himself as the new and true leader of the jungle. Scape the goat ran up to the group of animals and interrupted. Vaughn! Vaughn! You realize a tree fell in the river? I had nothing to do with that, you know. I said to myself, I have to let Vaughn know because I don't want y'all to accuse me of anything. You know when things does happen in this place and nobody knows it's always me. Well, you see, started Anansi. Scape, Vaughn interjected. But Scape continued. All I know is I was minding my own business on the way home and I see the tree in the river bend. Scape, Vaughn said again. But Scape kept going. And when I saw it, I heard Scratcher the monkey say, Scape, you throw down the people tree in the river again? I said, Scratcher, you see me throw the people tree in the river? Ha! Scape! Vaughn roared, finally silencing the babbling goat. Don't worry about it. I already took care of it. Okay, because I already tell y'all to leave my name out of that. I don't know why I always get taking blame on me. Scape continued. Oh, well, Anansi, getting hungrier by the second and annoyed at Scape's rambling, jumped in with a foolproof story for a fool to get Scape to move along. Hey, Scape, I have 5 bags of cocoa missing by Miss Cricket, and they saying it's you again. All they could say is me again. And Scape the goat left the group, quarreling and complaining as he walked down to Miss Cricket to clear his name again. Anansi realized he was wasting his time. He wasn't going to convince the animals today that he is really king of the jungle, and he should have been studying his stomach and eaten by Hamish the bush pig already. Well, it was in that moment that Vaughn ended the gathering by saying he needed some rest and proceeded to take out the most glorious, juiciest, mouth-watering mango ever. It looked like it had its own glow. You know those that have their own shine and perfume? One of those. And Anansi opened his eyes wide, wide, wide. He looked at the mango, and the mango looked at him. He was sure the mango whispered, "Eat Well, with that, all thoughts about Hamish and his sweet cinnamon pie went out the window. And Nancy had to have that mango, and he knew just the way to do it. Finally, Vaughn the vegan lion said to himself as he held up the mango with a smile. I'm about to turtle you up and cube you into little bite-sized bits of deliciousness, and then... Excuse me, Mr. Vegan Lion, Anansi interrupted, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm so happy to get the attention of a big animal like you, and I was wondering if you could help a little animal like me. Not now! You can't see I'm busy, Anansi. Talk to me when I'm finished eating this beauty, said Vaughn dismissively. I've been waiting all day to eat this mango, and I want to enjoy every little bit of it in peace. It's just a shame, said Anansi. You know, if you're not careful, you'll become the very thing you say you don't like in others. What did you say? Growled Vaughn, as his eyes shifted from the mango to piercing into a little Anansi. Anansi continued without missing a beat. Yes, I've seen it all before. Become the very thing you say you don't like in others. Let me explain. I've got a story for you. It happened something kind of sorta a little bit like this. Well, said Anansi, telling the story. Once upon a time, there was a little bird who was tired and hungry, and so much so that he couldn't fly anymore. He came across a shrub where he saw a cow with a banana in his hand, and the cow said to him, well, what's the matter? Oh, I'm so hungry, I haven't eaten for the last 2 days, and I just need something to eat. The cow looked at his banana and said, well, I would share this banana with you, but it's the only thing I have. But the little hungry bird said, you're so big and the banana is so small and I'm so small. That little banana can't satisfy you, but it can satisfy me. And there's a field full of cow-sized watermelons just behind that shrub that will satisfy you. Just over there. True story. And Anansi winked at Vaughn. So the cow agreed to give the bird the banana and ran over and had the juicy, delicious watermelons himself. And the bird and the cow enjoyed their fruit, a big fruit for a big animal and a small fruit for a small animal, just the way it should be, fair and square. Eh, Vaughn? Said Anansi. Vaughn looked skeptical, but Anansi was very small and he was very large, and the only thing vegan lions like more than mangoes are delicious watermelons. Vaughn had a delicious decision to make. It was simple. The thought of giant watermelons as big as a cow was so tempting that he gave Anansi the delectable mango and jumped over to the bushes to get the watermelons himself. I did say a field of watermelons, right? Well, it was more like a field of mud. Watermelons wouldn't be in season for 2 more months. Well, if I tell you Vaughn was furious, vexed to bust, he jumped over the shrubs and ran back to Anansi in a rage, only to find him under the tree, meager belly stretched out to the max, relaxing with mango juice all over his face. You ate my mango! Yelled Vaughn as he grabbed Anansi's little body. Do you have any idea what I could do to a little animal like you? Well, oh gosh, Vaughn, you're gonna break my bones, cried out Anansi. Then he said confidently, I don't think you would hurt me for a mango. And I definitely know you wouldn't eat me instead of a mango with your vegan self. So what exactly are you going to do, Vaughn? Remember what you said. The worst thing is when a large animal takes advantage of a small animal. If you're not careful, you'll become the very thing you say you don't like in others. Well, Vaughn's mouth dropped down to the ground. He turned to the nearest tree and wept. And Anansi, well, He walked off saying to himself, I still wonder what Hamish the Bushwick has left to eat. The end.
That was too sweet. That was too sweet. That was real good.
Sweet. Linda, you have too sweet. You have diction is excellent. Tone, you brought to life the characters. Miss Dolan Reeling style is so good. I love to hear her and see her narrate several books. Too sweet. Go on her website and you can buy a book. Make sure every child have a copy of. You should not leave here. If you come here, you should be encouraging people to buy Lisa Levi's book. No, all child. Remember when a storyteller said all children should know who Anansi is? You got to check out Amina Meeks. You got to check out Lisa Lopez, right? You got to check out, man. We got to organize the Bahamas. We got to organize Mutra, and we got to go to tambule.com. We got to get the toys for the kids that are us. We got to get the books. We got to let them understand who we are. Okay? Thank you very much, Linda. And we're moving on. We're moving on. Are you guys tired yet? We had enough? Because we already had to cut some of our storytellers because anybody here working in the telephone company to do something in St. George's so that we can organize the people, our storytellers that can't come in because their power got knocked out. The power in Grenada got knocked out. Do we have any magicians in the house? Any magician in the house? To bring Astrid Mitchell here, you got to check out Astrid Mitchell, www.astridmitchell.com. Carolyn from Grenada, we're looking at you, we're seeing you. Karen Umano from England. Oh, listen, Karen Umano have been, look at her, Karen Umano has been in all our storytelling. All our storytelling, whether we have it 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and you know what time it is in England. She has been here, Mutra, so you got to come to town. You got to let Carolyn stay up. You got to let, sorry, not Carolyn. You got to let Karen. You got to let Karen Umano, right? Know that you got her. You're going to organize her. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you Miss Kimberly Mutra from Freeport in the Bahamas. She's a teacher. She's an actor. She's an author. If you want to check out that, you would have to help me with that one. Dabuki, Anansi meets Father Thunder.
Babuki.
Thank you.
Babuki. Say Babuki.
Babuki. You see, you get everything here. We also have a speech pathologist. All right. So we go into Freeport and Miss Mutra.
I'm ready.
Go.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kimpy, the story keeper. I keep stories in my old chest that was passed down to me from my ancestors from Africa. They wanted me to keep their stories alive by telling you. In the back here is some guys. This is Seth. You see him? Where's him? Yeah. And over here, this is Mia. They want to see everything close up, so I invited them here. So now, I have a story for you. This one is going to be called Anansi Meets Father Thunder. Jump, drum roll. Once upon a time, a merry old time, when monkey chewed tobacco and spit white lime. It wasn't my time. It wasn't your time. It was old story time. There was famine all over the Caribbean. There was famine in the Bahamas. There was famine in Jamaica, all the way down to Barbados and Trinidad. Now, Bookie, not sorry, it cost me to say Bookie. Now, Nancy was walking on the bay, down in Hunters, right here in Grandmama, walking on the bay. And Anansi rubbed his hungry stomach. Oh, he was dying for food. Then, on the horizon, Anansi saw an island. He couldn't believe his eyes. What the world? What he said? He said, no, wait. An island out there? I've never seen that before. So Anansi went walking further down. He saw a boat. It was Uncle Ben's boat. Now, Uncle Ben just died yesterday. Uncle Ben was like 150, something like that. I ain't sure. He was 150 years old, and you know, he wasn't even down in the grave yet. And if you know the old people saying, you wait for the people to be buried before you use the things, or else you're going to get high for the rest of your life. But Anansi wasn't checking. Anansi grabbed that boat and paddled off. But guess what? The boat turned over on him. So that was a sign. Anansi, you better put it back. No, but he didn't listen. He's so stupid. He take that boat over again. And finally he made it to the island. When he got on the island, he tied up his boat. Then Anansi went and find all the cocoa. First, you see the cocoa plums line the beach. He picked all them cocoa plums, eating all the cocoa plums, all his mouth tarry, can't talk. Then he went, get the sea grapes. He gobbled them down too, throw some in his pocket, back pocket, front pocket, all in his chest, everywhere. He went all around the island. He saw soursop trees. He saw guava trees, dilly trees. Then he finally saw some coconut trees. You know what he did? He climbed them coconut trees, twist them off, plump, down in the water. Plump, 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 plump. And guess what? All missed the boat. Well, child, you know Anansi. He dived down deep to the bottom of the seabed. And there he saw this strange cottage. It was lined with conch shells. So he knocked on the door. Well, Anansi saw this man with a long black beard. And he looked like he was ageless. So Anansi said, who you is? And the man said, I am Father Thunder. Is it you who hit my cottage with coconut trees? This time Anansi gets scared. He started to tremble. Oh gee, sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry, sir. Father Thunder looked at him and said, you're lucky that I'm not in a bad mood because I brew up a storm. So he calmed down. Father Thunder calmed down. He said, come inside, Anansi, come on. Anansi followed him. Anansi thinking he gonna get some crawfish to eat, because you know, there's the Bahamas, you gotta eat some crawfish, some conch salad, some conch fritters, some grouper fingers, but no, ain't none of that, sorry. Anansi was surprised when Father Thunder said, see this pot? Take this pot, and every time you're hungry, hungry. So Anansi grabbed the pot, even he said, thank you, Mr. Thunder. He grabbed the pot, go on running, take off, go on in his boat, sail back to the mainland. He didn't even stop to say hi to anyone. No. People walking on the street, no, not Anansi. He went straight into his house, opened his door, went into his bedroom, and said the magic words.
Pot, pot, I'm hungry. Give me some food, please.
And the pot full became full, and Nancy ate all that. So days went by, and everybody on the street said, boy, Nancy, you looking kind of fat. And we right here, be starving, be so skinny. Look at you. His son and all noticed it. His son said, Daddy, how come you look so plump? And so Nancy's son just was sneaky like him. You know what he did? Well, Nancy's son went in his room and hid in the ceiling. And when he saw Nancy, he was ready to spy on him, of course. So Nancy went to his pot, said the magical words, and his son saw that he had so much food. And Nancy ate. And his son went out and tell Nancy's wife. And Nancy's wife couldn't believe it. What, my husband on food and he ain't giving us none? What, that's a crazy old man. What? Look here, boy. So, and Nancy's wife went, got that pot, put it in the middle of the street, called all the people, everybody in the settlement, all the way down, Bevan's down, everybody. Come get food, get food. Everybody lined up. And they lined up, and Nancy's wife said, what happened? This pot ain't making any noise. Come, we need food. We need food, pot. The pot started to rumble and shake. It seemed. It turned red and then boom! It blew right up. Everybody ducked for cover. Oh, gee, things was flying all over the place. And Nancy came out shouting, what the dickens you're doing with my pot? And Nancy calmed down and finally said, I know where I can get another pot. Yeah. So he sailed back where Father Thunder was, and he knocked on the door. Father Thunder was ready for him. He said, what is it this time? And Nancy told him all of the people did, even his wife and children. He didn't even mention that he didn't share with them how selfish he was. No. He just told Father Thunder, they break my pot. Father Thunder said, oh, Anansi, take this stick. Yeah, take this stick. This stick will serve you right. Anansi took the stick, went back into his boat, sailed back to the mainland. When he got to the mainland, he wanted to try the stick out, of course. You know Anansi. He went, instead of going home, he went into the pine forest. He said to the stick, stick, do as Father Thunder said. And the stick jumped over Anansi on and whop him on his bungie. And Nancy take off running. The people in the street looking at him say, gee, that's a crazy old man, eh? What the devil wrong? What? He running all over the street like crazy. My bim, my boom, my story just ended.
Booyaka. There you go. Yes. Listen, Kimberly, we have some children in the Chimaka children, and they are laughing their hearts out. They are enjoying. I'm
happy.
Enjoying the stories. So, Kimberly, you are already a hit with the children.
That's great.
I want us to pay attention. I want us to pay attention to how similar we are, even though we're separated and we are dispersed everywhere. Our Anansi stories are so similar. You know, it goes to show that we are still one. All right. Yes. And again, I mean, I don't know, you know. Don't call me racist. I am unapologetically Black. But I mean, you understand the brilliance of our people?
Yes.
You see how you can change the different characters and bring them to life, even sound like an animal? Wait, you know, I don't think people are scared of us, you know. They are just amazed. They are just amazed of the things that we can do. Thank you very much, Mutra. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let's see the comments that you got. Somebody said, Super Mutra. That's Erica. Aria says, awesome story, Kimpy. Name is Kimpy?
Yeah, that's my story name.
Oh, your story name. And somebody had me talking French or Spanish. Excelente. Good
Oh,
job,
yeah.
Kimpy. Good job, Auntie Kim. Guess who say Auntie Kim? Guess who?
Donvaria.
No, not Donvaria, not Donvaria at all. That look like Don. That look like your brother.
Donald.
Yeah, that look like him. Big up to you, man. Everybody sit down ready and waiting for your stories. Let's see what's going on over on the YouTube channel. We're going to have Mr. Lyon to come in after Dr. Richards to come in and tell us what is going on rampoonradio.com. Yeah? Tanya said, reminds me of the legend Miss Lou. Miss Mutra, awesome job. I love to hear storytelling from the Bahamas. The Bahamas, you're represented here well. Then we have the kids, all that we already did. The kids are laughing. Somebody loved the set up the drums and the puppets. Well done. Great story from Jamaica. I don't understand how you reach in Jamaica.
I have family there.
I tell you, the Caribbean people mix up. Caribbean man, on the same trip. Yeah, we come from one place, guys. Let's love up on each other. Yes, Linda, back to Linda. Linda, the energy is great. We can just picture the vegan lion. I don't know about that vegan lion. Awesome job, Linda. You're trying to make people vegan in here. What's going on with that kind of thing, man? I like my meat. Don't come in that kind of thing. Always get me vexed when all this whole vegan talk. It's everything about this vegan thing. That is real. Get me best. Look. I know what's going on. Let's see what Aria eating there. Aria, what you eating there? This is a vegan Aria. What you eating? Chewing gum? You go and get some meat, girl. You go and get. You want me to know you're in a class or no? You're in a class. You're good to go, man. Let's check in and see. We have somebody here. Let's see what's going on over here, man. We have somebody here. Who's that? Don, put your camera down a little bit. Let me see your face, man.
Oh, okay. How you doing, Miss Moore?
Oh, sure. Look how you're asking for trouble. Look how you're asking for trouble. I say no more, my peeps. I say no more. Say hello to all my peeps over there. Say hello
hi everybody.
Yes, thank you. Oh, man, let's see what's going on in Belize. I wonder if they have some thunder down inside there. They're going to church.
All right, guys.
Sure, Pastor will baptize you later. God, you think it's a Nancy alone going to church? I will hear about you. Look at this woman that's talking this vegan thing. Come and let people talk about this vegan thing. And we are meet people. Why are we going on with this kind of thing? Man, go on to tambule.com. Yeah? Look at River Stories, guys. Look at River Stories set up. Look at River Stories set up. Wait. What's going on here, River Story? Check this River Story. What going on here? What happened to the outfit, guys? Outside hot?
Yes, please.
It's real hot. Don't worry, you'll go outside and get some breeze just now. Don't worry. How the story going, guys?
Inside is hot.
Right, so how the story going? How are you enjoying the stories?
It's good.
It's good?
I enjoyed it. Everybody did a good role.
Wow. Guys, you are getting enjoyed. It's excellent so far. Guys, you're getting endorsed by the children. You know children is always tell the truth. You can't get into lie. Yeah? What's going on? Dr. Richard, the currently getting little quail, man. Outside too hot. What's going on there?
But look here now. I'm still wondering, when did Anansi start to go to church? the last time.
And Nancy, anywhere that food is, he always hungry. So it's the food. It's the food.
The last time I heard Anansi and church, Anansi went down to the beach to preach to the crabs, and then he told them that he wanted to baptize them in hot water.
That's a piece of crab soup. That's a piece of crab soup here. Look, Dr. Richard, it looked like Sari wanted to turn to Anansi. Sari, you ever had crab before?
Pardon?
Did you ever have crab before? Did you ever eat crab?
I'm actually vegan for the next week.
You're vegan for the next week. Okay. All right, sorry. I know this can't be a vegan here. What's going on here, Dr. Albert Charles? What's going on, man?
I'm not a vegan, but I do have. This is some good seasoning. You know what this is?
Shadow Benny. No.
Very good.
Shadow Benny.
Yes. Yes.
We call it culantro.
Yeah.
Culantro. That's what we say in Belize. Culantro. Culantro. Yes.
But Dr. Charles, before you start, because you know you're next, guys, you gotta wait for the Trinidadian man. You gotta wait for the Trinidadian man. Wait, guys. But let's see what we're done here with this lady here. Dr. Amina Weeks backward. Don't tell her nothing. Let's see what all shows. She take off a video, Dr. Meeks. Dr. Amina, you started coffee already, or you all right?
No, man, we're good. We're good.
We good?
Yeah, man, we're good.
We good. All right, good. Dr. Amina Weeks is fine. Aria, I want you to do a little thing for me before Dr. Albert come on. Do me a little favor, sweetheart. Can you stand up? Can you step back a little bit? Oh, we can't see that. We can't see the camera. Ask Daddy to bend the thing a little bit. Yes. I want to see the bottom of the dress. Spread it out. Oh, yes. Spread it out. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, gorgeous. Look at that. Look at the prince. Thank you very much. Beautiful. That is just gorgeous. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies, we're in good hands. Gentlemen, we're in good hands. So let's see if we can find look, if I even listen, guys, I'll get myself in trouble with Rampoon Radio because I want to do something that he says, oh, that's not professional on the radio. But I'm trying to tell him this is informal. This is coming together of Caribbean people. And when we come together, not just Caribbean people, displaced Africans. And when we come together, things happen, you know? So I want to ask Mr. Thomas, can you spotlight Dr. Albert for me? I can't find him. Mr. Thomas. I know I don't get in trouble with Rampoon Radio, but I can't. There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we bring to you Dr. Albert Thomas. Albert Charles. Listen, I am not dyslexic. I promise I'm not dyslexic. I promise you guys. Listen. I'm supposed to be an educator. Dr. Charles is going to do first today. He comes from the beautiful Trinidad. When you get a chance, can you say hello to Peter Mencha for me?
Yes, I did see him last week. We spoke briefly. He's going all right.
He's not on the live now?
Sorry, if he is?
Is he on the live?
No.
Well, he in there, but how about you know this man? That's a real handsome man. He had ball, and he always wearing these red clothes. I didn't even know who he is, but I hear they call him I wonder is it Rottler, Doctor, what's his name? He's real handsome, a real smart, a real handsome looking man with a little ball. And he's in the red. He in the red house. He in the red house. He gets in trouble with Miss Kagala. Yeah, they not too long. You know that gentleman?
Professionally, a little bit. I know
just love upon him for me. Just love upon him for me. Tell her coming for the Grenadian woman. You understand? I love me some Dr. Rowley. Love me some Dr. Rowley. And you guys celebrated Republic Day not too long ago?
Yes, just a couple days ago.
Congratulations. You see Barbados following, and if Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks have her way, Jamaica would be the next republic. So,
possibly, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we bring to you Dr. Albert Charles from Trinidad and Tobago.
Anansi and the Talking Watermelon. Story written by Kitty Higgins. Early one morning, Anansi the spider awoke to the sound of Possum hoeing his watermelon patch. Anansi peered down from the peach tree where he lived to watch Possum's slow progress. Anansi salivated at the thought of a meal of watermelon, his favorite juicy red fruit. When Possum set his foe aside at midday to take a nap, Anansi snuck down his tree for a snack. While Possum snored, Anansi shimmied down his fine silk web to the ripest watermelon in the garden. He picked up a small, sharp stone to chip away the melon's rind. He made a hole that he could just squeeze into. He gorged himself as the juices slid down his 8 spider legs. Just when Anansi about had had his fill, he heard Possum stir. Possum was deaf. Possum will punish me if I am discovered, Anansi said to himself. He waddled to the hole in the rind, and one leg at a time, he tried to pull himself out. He was so slippery, he couldn't keep his footing. He braced himself against the edge of the hole, but he was so full of fruit that he no longer fit. "Oh no, I'm stuck," he cried. "Now I have to wait until I shrink back to normal size." Anansi laid his head upon a watermelon seed in an attempt to sleep. He tossed and turned restlessly. "This is so boring. What should I do while I wait?" As he pondered his next plot, he heard Possum at the far end of the room. I know. I will trick Possum into thinking that his melon talks." Possum came scratching with his hoe, and as he neared Anansi's melon, he heard a sound quite as a mouse. "What is that?" he asked. "It is I, the watermelon," Anansi now yelled. "Oh, sir, watermelons can't talk," Possum said as he cradled the melon to his ear. "Possum, you have never been a good listener. Watermelons have been talking since before you were born." Possum could not believe his ears and cried, "Eureka! I must show King Bear the discovery I have made." Off he went, carrying the watermelon with Anansi bouncing to and fro inside. He met Raccoon rolling the dust beside the road. "What's the hurry, Possum?" Raccoon asked. "I'm bringing King Bear a talking watermelon," Possum answered, very proud of himself. "No, I have heard everything," Raccoon laughed. "You haven't heard me talk," Anansi replied from inside the melon to Raccoon's smart remark. "What? Who said that?" asked Raccoon. "I did," said Anansi, really enjoying his trick. "You are silly, Raccoon, for not realizing more than animals have speech. Watermelons are more intelligent than you." "Do you believe me now?" asked Possum. "Yes, I do," Raccoon said. "This smart athletic watermelon is something the king would love to see." Along the path to King Bear's grand den, Possum and Raccoon came upon Gopher, Rat, and Squirrel. They each in turn laughed and pointed fingers until they heard the melon's strange little voice themselves. Before long, they all wanted to hear what the king would say about the oddity, so off they went. When they arrived, the king, a very grisly-looking bear, had just woken from his afternoon slumber and was a bit grumpy. "What is it?" he growled as the animals bowed before him. Possum placed the watermelon on a tree stump before King Bear. "What am I to do with this?" the king asked, continuing before anyone had a chance to answer. "I do not need any watermelons. I have acres of my own." "This one talks," they chimed in unison. King Bear refused to believe he had subjects from a garden patch. He demanded that the melon pay respects to him if the animals spoke the truth. The watermelon just sat there, mum for the first time all the day. "What kind of joke is this?" the king grumbled. The melon remained silent. "I would be a fool to waste more time waiting to see your treacherous trickery," he snarled at the frightened animals. "You would be a fool not to wait," piped up Anansi from inside the melon. "Only a fool thinks watermelons can't talk." "Fool? Fool?" King Bear roared. "How dare you call me the king? Foul names!" And with that, King Bear picked up the melon in his paws and chucked it as hard and as far as he could. The melon flew through the air and landed with a crack and a thud, splitting wide open, and Anansi was free. He skittered as fast as he could back to the peach tree where his morning started. "What a great day," Anansi rejoiced. "All of this fun has made me hungry again." He began nibbling at a large ripe peach above Possum's patch. Possum returned later that day with a sour look on his face. He picked up his hoe and started digging furiously. Melons, he cried. Next year, I will grow something else in this patch. You watermelons are nothing but trouble. Perhaps you should grow more peaches, Anansi said with a mouth full of fuzzy fruit. The king is sure to listen to a peach. Thus ended the story.
Woo! Yes. Good job. Excellent. Woo! Things getting hot in here, guys. Things getting hot in here. Yes, it's hot. Let's check in. Thank you very much, Dr. Albert Charles from Trinidad. That was what the wait. That was what the wait. You know how we came here? You know how we got here?
By boat.
By boat? Well, no. You missed last week. Let's get Gang Sarah, and then we'll tell you exactly how we get here. But I just want to check in. Anybody have any new snacks? I got my moringa. My snack, and I want to show you guys this before I roast it. My snack will be coming up. You guys know what it is? Anybody know what it is?
Breadfruit.
Oh, let's show you the breadfruit. Breadfruit. But listen, you see, I have to put paper towel on it to keep the juices from coming out. So anybody who wants to tell me I don't have a breadfruit tree in my backyard, go ahead. Ricky, go ahead and tell me that I have a breadfruit tree in my backyard. What's going on here now?
Hey, 5 fingers, boy. 5 fingers.
All the Grenadians, not even Grenadians now. All the Caribbean people, no snacks.
Very good for diabetes. That is, yeah. Very good fruit.
I think the two for diabetes, some free consultancy here, guys. Pay close attention. Do you need to consult with your doctor on that one?
Not really. And it's very good as a early morning fruit. Very good for breakfast. I had some just the other day, funny enough. And as you mentioned, moringa. I had a punch this morning with moringa and some sea moss and some other stuff in it. These things are very, very good. One of the things we have to remember too is that for our genetic type and our body types, the concentration of foods is a little bit different for us, because like where for other people certain things might be not good for other people, for us it's really good. And a lot of these natural fruits, especially early in the day, excellent stuff. The moringa is very, very good. The leaves are good. The dried pods, very, very good. I'm glad that Dr. Richards brought out that 5 fingers. I have to talk to my neighbor about getting some more. That's really excellent.
Listen, Dr. Charles.
Yes, ma'am.
I know we're talking about Anansi stories, and I hear you talking about talk to neighbor. Don't try that. There is to be no stealing. Absolutely no stealing. Anansi did not endorse that. He did not endorse that. Don't try that thing, Lee. Don't try that. No, but you said something about that is not good for other people, but it's good for us. And I remembered last week, Dr. Richard, he explained why we as the people can't fly anymore. Remember Gang Sarah last month? And because Gang Sarah ate salt, that she couldn't fly. One of the doctors can confirm this to me. Is one of the reasons why we as the Black people, our immunity is being reduced is because we're using foreign foods into our body other than things that are uniquely us or made for us. Is that one of the reasons, or we just licorice, eating too much?
My perspective on it briefly is that it is better for us to use quote unquote what's good for us. We find that there are higher incidence of heart disease and diabetes, for instance, once you start using more processed food and highly cooked food and fast foods. Once you stick to the natural foods and our natural diet, according to our genotype and our blood type and our body types, it's better for us. I will defer to Dr. Richards.
Yes, Dr. Richards, what do you think? On mute.
To be honest, I think it depends on the particular food, right? And what you want to achieve. Cooking foods has helped human beings a lot and has helped them to increase in size and added a lot of nutrition. But at this time now, in this age where there is so much food around us in the Caribbean and we are overweight, it might be time to go back to raw so that we absorb fewer nutrients from the food. You know, it all depends on what you're trying to achieve and the particular food.
Dr. Richard Moody with that thing. You're just like this lady here. Come and talking about this vegan thing. Listen, you got to nice up the food and put some meat in the food, man. This raw thing there going on. They maybe eat a little piece of meat on the side, right?
Only the lion is vegan. Only the lion is vegan. Everybody else is
only the lion. Only the lion. All right, we can work with that. We can work with that. Right? Let's check in and see who is on before we fly across the pond. I forgot to mention, those of you who are listening to us, we want to welcome you. Those of you who are in Rampoon land, thank you for coming. And I'm hoping that you're enjoying the story time. And let us get your feedback. After the wonderful Miss Gangang Sarah, no Mrs. Anansi Azo coming to us from across the pond, I just wanted to remind you guys that the Sky God is not too happy with the Grenadians, because the Sky God knocked out the power. So some of our storytellers are not going to be here today. I know some of you are going to be disappointed that you can't hear Astrid. Miss Dubisette, did Dubisette manage to get on? I don't think Kelly has Dubisette. I haven't seen her. We still have Karen Umano in. We still have Dawn in. Nice. Everybody's still in. Let's see what's going on over on YouTube, on the YouTube link. And after Lisa comes on, we're going to ask Lion to give us her feedback. What is the feeling on Rampoon land? All right? So we have Tanya, the amazing Tanya is still there supporting. Yes, Linda. Oh, that's for Linda, sorry. We said that one already. Gorgeous dress, that's for you, Aria. Jamaica, big up. We in there. But I don't understand Tanya, you know. Then Jamaicans are getting us those Jamaican know that they look. Jamaica, big up. Well, Sandra says, well done, Dr. Charles. Carolyn, it is not juice, it's milk. Oh, Carolyn, what you know about breadfruit? You ain't know nothing about breadfruit, don't try that. You know, Carolyn, your grandmother is 92. Go and ask and she's going to tell you it's juice. 92 or 95, I think your grandmother is 95. Guys, I wish I had a picture here to show you of her hot 95. And she cooks her own food, and she probably still give Carolyn a little tongue lashing here and there. And wait, I have to bring down one for the birthday girl. Oh, Amma, Carolyn says she has something for your birthday. All right, Rampoon Radio. Well, we're gonna get Rampoon Radio after. All you guys, how we doing? How we doing so far? You guys had enough?
No.
You guys have enough? Or you enjoying it? You guys ready for this lady across the pond here? Are you guys ready for this lady across the pond? Are you guys ready? We still have Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks. Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks, right? Charlotte, I got it right? I got it right? Yeah, I think I got it right. Let's see. Mucha, what going on? We good? You ready to roll? I hear that. Done. I think that Don grows some hair in the back there. I see scratching. Like Don grows some hair. Look, let me mind Don business. Who we talking to? Oh, no, we talking to look. No, let mind Don business. Listen. You look at the talking to
we have the dog. The dog took over story time, so I could barely hear.
Oh dear. Well, we're still happy to have you on the side here. All right. So let's just say hello to Peter Antoine, Jenna James, Ezra. I think, guys, you guys have to convince Mr. Adrian Green to come back and deliver. You guys have to convince Mr. Adrian Green to come back to us. Come back to us, Adrian Green. We need Adrian Green is a spoken word artist from Barbados. You guys just have to hear him. You just have to hear him. You would have heard his daughter. The beautiful Sari Green. That's Adrian Green's daughter. So you know. They got it locked. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone everywhere in Rampoon land, we're winding down. Three more storytellers to come. And we're starting with Miss Lisa Levi. I want you to check her out on riverstories.com. riverstories.com. She has roots in Trinidad, she has roots in Grenada, and we're just lending her to the British people. You know how they like to take what's not theirs, but we ain't let it go, all right? We ain't let it go. She's one of ours. She's a teacher, an author, a storyteller. She has a book to sell. Check out her website, and you can buy it. Let us support our own. Can you say that again?
Support the artists.
Yes, support the artist. She's also an artist. And when you get to Desabu, tell him thank you for that beautiful that depiction of Anansi.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Yes. All right. So you check out her background and everything. Miss Lisa Thomas is going to tell us and share with us things Anansi. Go ahead, Lisa. It's all yours.
Okay. So we know Anansi in Africa is known as a man, and he's known as a trickster god. So I always imagine that he had some trick that went wrong, and he landed up in the bottom of a big ship. And when he found himself crammed into the ship with so many other people piled up all around him, moaning and crying, he decided, you know what, I'm going to change myself into a spider so I could have more space. And when the ship finally landed on the shores of the Caribbean, he packed his bags and he snuck off the ship. And when he saw how those people were being treated, he decided he was just going to run into the bush and stay a spider. Well, this story I'm going to tell you was taught to me by Henk John. He was from Suriname, and he was renowned as a director and a writer. And he taught me this story, and it tells us about how Anansi learned to have a spider web. Long ago, long ago, in the forest, lived Anansi, the father of the Anansis. Now, all the animals were vexed with Anansi. The tiger, roar. The monkey, the eagle, even the donkey was vexed with Anansi. He is sly, he is wicked, and he always tries to trick and fool us. Furious, furious was how all the animals felt about Anansi. But Anansi, he laughed. And he laughed. And he said, you angry? Well, I'm angry too. And when I get angry, I could be more angry than all of you. Mandi, Mando, Mandi, Mando. I am Bush Anansi, you're not as smart as me. I am Bush Anansi, you're not as smart as me. Mandi, Mando, Mandi, Mando. Look by the riverside, you cannot find me. Look by the seashore, you cannot find me. Mandi, Mando, Mandi, Mando. Well, one morning, Anansi woke up and he put on his big jacket. And then he walked to the riverside. Now, at the riverside were some big, heavy rocks. Anansi picked up a big, heavy rock and he put it inside his jacket pocket. Then he picked up another big, heavy rock and he put it inside his other jacket pocket. Now, Anansi was as heavy as rocks. He jumped into the water, shaboom, and he sank deep, 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 deep into the water until he landed bidding on top of the house of Mama Glow, the mother of the river, with the long, long, long hair and the golden comb. Well, Mama Glow was not at home. So, this sly boy Anansi, this rude boy Anansi, he walked around the house. Boom, 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 boom. And then he walked around the house. Boom, 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 boom. Until he found a book, a big book. Anansi opened the book. And inside this book was all the knowledge and the wisdom that not even human beings knew about. So Anansi, he take the book. No, he thieved the book. He put the book under his jacket. He took the big heavy rocks out of his jacket pocket and he shot up to the surface of the water. Then he swam home. When he got to shore, he ran as fast as he could. He ran inside and he closed the door. And then he opened the book again and he read about all the knowledge and the wisdom and the knowledge and the wisdom and the wisdom and the knowledge until he was knowledge itself. Ha ha, said Anansi. I am knowledge itself. Now I can be anything I want to be. I could even be a dragon with a fire tongue to spit fire on all my enemies. And he started pushing and shoving and concentrating to make fire. But not a spark, not even a little light could he make. All he could make was a thin, 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 fine, fine, fine strand of a spider's web. Ha ha, said Anansi, look at what I can make. And so he started, he went on pushing and shoving and concentrating until he had made another thin, 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 fine, fine, fine strand of a spider's web. And another, and another, and another, until he had a whole spider's web. And Anansi climbed into his web, and he sat in it like a king. And he said, ha ha, look at me, Anansi, look at what I can make. A spider trap to trap all my enemies. So you, tiger, and you, monkey, and you, eagle, and even you, donkey, beware of me, Anansi, 'cause it's only the ones who are clever and smart like me, brothers. Yes, only the ones who are wicked and sly like me, brothers. Yes, only the ones like me can build a spider's trap, can build a spider's trap, can build a... Wire Ben, story end.
Hey.
I hope you enjoy. It comes straight from Suriname.
Give me the rhythm, give me the rhythm, give me only the one.
Only the ones who are clever and smart like me, brothers. It's only the ones who are wicked and wise like me, brothers. Yes, only the ones like me can build a spider's trap. Can build a spider's trap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it, love it.
Only the one, loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. Dr. Richard, stand by with your Christmas story, but I have to get Rampoon in. But before I get Rampoon in, listen, Lisa. Listen, Lisa, my Malcolm X friend. I know you love it.
Power to the people.
Power to the people. Davaria says, love it. Cora says that was great, love it. Linda said fantastic, very enjoyable. How does the story end? Wait, no, Dawn was a rush. She didn't finish asking questions. Charlotte said awesome. And somebody says so true, song and speech a pleasant surprise. You know what a surprise about? You know what a surprise about, Lisa?
What?
But let me tell you what Mucha say about you first. You see, Mucha will get you in trouble. Let Mucha say she sure is in love with her. I guess she means she love you real bad, right? Don Barrier said this is awesome. Dr. Richard said, listen to Dr. Albert Charles. A storyteller who can sing is an added plus. Makes the story even more exciting, right? And he said that's a pleasant surprise. And Linda said, oh, I love this with the singing. Linda going back to the drawing board. She had a vegan thing. I think she'll pick up something just out. So he said the songs are good. Nothing, listen to Dawn. Dawn said nothing like put the animation in the characters. Love this story. Listen again. Listen. You listening, Lisa?
Yeah.
Listen to Dr. Admina Blackwood Mix. She says, enough respect to Hank, lovingly remembered. And listen, when you mention Hank's name, I want to quote it. You remember Kofi?
Yeah.
Kofi tell me, hear what Kofi tell me. Kofi say, Lion know who is Kofi and Lion know who is Kofi and Jose in Budge Grove in Grenada. Jose and Auntie Nika, they know who is Kofi, teacher Lois in New York. They know who is Kofi. Hear what they say. Kofi say that Hank John came to Barbados in 2003. And what he did, he explained that the sun set from South America all the way up. And what happens in that sunset, it reflects Africa. Lisa, did Hank tell you that, Lisa?
I knew Hank a long time ago when I was very young. And yeah. So I couldn't tell you if I remember that, but that's really interesting. And it sounds like something Hank would have said.
Yeah, he said that.
Very mystical kind of guy.
He told the Bajans that in 2003 that it reflects Africa, right, Ian Marshall? I believe so. But Lisa, before you go, the people loving you off, girl. The people loving you guys. These storytellers are awesome. You can't pay for this. Disney has nothing on us. Disney has nothing on us. Listen to Dr. Anthony Richard, and he coming up next, eh?
Yeah.
Stand by, Dr. Amina Weeks. We coming to you, Dr. Amina Weeks. Oh, Lord, you hear Amina Weeks? Wonderful. Thank you for Suriname story from him. Love your style. Right? Let me go into YouTube real quick because I don't want YouTube to say that we're neglecting them. But sorry guys. I forget Lion and I know we don't have time. Lion, you want to jump in here or you gonna jump in after? You gonna jump in here? Guys, you had enough? Lion ain't coming yet. We come back with the comments if we have time. Right? Thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you very much. And now we're gonna go to our first biochemist. Where is he? Ricky, where's the fancy man? Oh Lord, he changed style. Look, he changed his style. Look. All right. Yes, let's tell us what's going on with Anansi and Christmas, Dr. Richard.
Well, this is the story of Anansi and the Christmas market, which was told by the wonderful Miss Lou, right? Miss Louise Bennett of Jamaica, a story that we know from all over the Caribbean. And this one came also directly from Africa. I'm so enjoying these stories. In Suriname, you know, when somebody has died and there's a funeral, they tell Nancy's story during the wake to comfort the bereaved and to keep them company. So Christmas was drawing near, and Nancy's wife was getting very upset. She said, "Anansi, there's no food in the house and it's Christmas time." And Nancy said, "Woman, leave me alone." She said, "Anansi, the children are hungry. Go to the market and get something." And Anansi said, "Oh." He got up, went down the tree, turned into a man, and said, let me go down to the farm and see what there might be down there. Now, Anansi never goes to his own farm. Anansi doesn't like to work. Anansi likes to trick the other animals. When he got to the farms and he looked around, he realized that all the other animals had already harvested their food and carried it down to the Christmas market. Anansi was very annoyed. Anansi speaks with a lisp. So Anansi said, maybe if I look around in the farm, we can find a little shunting to carry down to the market. So he started to go around and said, no scufflings, no scufflings. I just want some scufflings from this farm. And he's looking east and west from farm to farm. He couldn't find anything. And at midday, exhausted, he sat down next to a bush and he looked up and he saw a long stalk with a little red something at the top. And Anansi said, what's that? And he climbed up and he picked the red things and pushed them in his pocket and said, maybe I can get something for them in the market. And then Anansi pulled foot, go down to the market. Gone down to the market. Then Anansi got into the market, was looking around. And he saw a man selling some apples. These are not sugar apples, these are not golden apples, these are some imported apples, red apples. So Anansi said to the man, shall me, swap me, one for you red something, for one for me red something. Right? In fact, swap me 2 for 2. The man said, what is your thing? And Anansi didn't know what it was. And Anansi said, swap me first, and I will tell you. The man said, tell me first, and I will swap you. And Anansi said, swap me first. The man said, tell me first. And they were going on like that, swap me first, tell me first. And somebody to the side said, why don't you just grab the thing away from the little man? And he reached to grab Anansi. And Anansi ducked under the man's arm and said, sleepies, and ran away. Everybody started chasing after Anansi. Anansi was dashing through the market saying, sleepies, 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 sleep you. All of a sudden, somebody grabbed Anansi by his shirt tail, and Anansi threw the red things, and they landed in a pot. Somebody just opened their pot to boil some manish water, some goat water, and the things dropped into the hot water. Blish, 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 blish. The water suddenly turned red. Somebody said, oh my, look at that, it's blood. Somebody said, what ignorance is this? And then she said, it's wine. It looks like wine. Yes, it's wine. Bring a little sugar and a little cinnamon, and you just stir it, and you just stir it. And people started to come along and taste the red thing. And Nancy said, what? I hope I don't kill nobody. And Nancy was serving the drink, and he laughing and collecting the money. So somebody said, yes, it's wine. It tastes like wine. How you taste so real, so real, so real. And Nancy said, yes, that's the name. It names So Real. And by the end of the day, in true Caribbean fashion, So Real turned to Surreal. Is a Nancy make it. Jack Mandora, me not choose none.
Excellent, Dr. Richards. Wow. Oh my, I didn't see that one coming.
No,
that was good. That was good.
Sorry. I love it. I love it, loving it, excellent, so real. Aha, somebody got it. Angelina Small, welcome. Sorrel. Sari said that to describe it, they have not made a word for what you just did, Dr. Richard. It is fab-tastic. Sari said it is fab-tastic. Good job, excellent. Dr. Amina Meeks, stand by, please.
Standing by. Standing by.
Yeah, let me just check out your reply just now. Let me just check out our persons on Hotmail. Dr. Anansi, hiding your necklace. Say hiding your necklace. They want to see your necklace, Dr. Richards. Put your necklace up. I know it was a headpiece. Now it turned into a necklace. Dr. Richard, your necklace. They can see it? Yes. All right, excellent. Well done. So real. I love it. I loving it. Let's find the Queen of Anansi. Let's find the Queen of Anansi. She's ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, our last storyteller for the night, for the evening. We've been at it for quite a while and nobody dropped out. People just keep on coming. Lion is going to give us the statistics when we're done. Hopefully we blow the internet. Right? So we have over, I don't know how many thousands people going to be here. But guys, you got to hear this lady from Jamaica. I want you to check her out on AminaMeeks.com. Check out Amina, and she also has an Anansi festival in Jamaica. When you go to our website, she's going to tell you about it. I know you want to hear me. I know you want to hear me. Right? But we have Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks. Dr. Amina Weeks, just love. Love you off, man. It's all yours, Dr. Meeks.
A big salute to you, Anne. You're doing such a wonderful, wonderful job in the spirit of the ancestors. That in times of crisis, what do storytellers do? We go to work, and you've been to work. There's one thing we have noticed is that storytelling is one of the art forms that have simply exploded in this time when we're not supposed to be doing anything. And it is such a joy to see all the wonderful people who are maintaining the traditions. Okay, it's not a lecture this evening. I'll go and tell a story. Whenever I find Anansi stories, I write my own stories, and whenever I find Anansi stories, I make them my own. And very often the story is never the same twice, because Anansi is so adaptable. So this story is based on a story called Anansi and his sons. And I'm going to be sharing a song in that story, which I'm going to let you have, Anne. That song was written by my son, Neto Meeks, who very often writes the songs for the stories that I tell. So here goes. I said, I call in all my warriors to the front line. I hope you have your army and you're ready to shine. I said, I call in all my soldiers to the battlefield. I want to know that the blood inside your vein is real. I bet you didn't know that Anansi was a songwriter. I bet you didn't know he loved to write songs about his sons. He called them his soldiers. He called them his warriors. He named them all for the special skills and talents they brought into this world with them according to the special purpose they had to perform. I said, I call in all my warriors to the front line. Hope you have your army and you're ready to shine. The first boy was called Sea Trouble because he had a gift for seeing trouble anywhere in the world. And the second boy was Road Builder because he could build a road from here to there and anywhere and back. And the third boy, well, his name was River Drinker because he loved nothing more than drinking pure, clean water from the rivers. And Fish Skinner was the most skilled fisherman in the whole world, and his brother Stone Thrower loved nothing more than to throw stones. But nobody seemed to know the purpose of the last boy. He was just fat and round and soft and chubby, like a cushion. So they called him Cushion. And Anansi had so many children that people nicknamed him the father of the nation. And as the father of the nation, he knew that his children required special things, knowledge, beautiful clothes, all the wonderful things that children need. And so one day, Anansi decided that he was going to set up a business so he could get all the wonderful things for his children. So he called them to give them this good news. I said, I call in all my soldiers to the front line. I hope you have your army and you're ready to shine. I said, I call in all my warriors to the battlefield. And when all the children had gathered, Anansi told them about this decision. And on the appointed day, Anansi dressed himself in the might of the red, the black, and the green, the special coat he wore on very special occasions. But he was in such a hurry to find the right place to set up a business for his children that he ran out the door and went straight past his ancestral altar without asking the ancestors to protect him, without asking them to be his wit, his eyes, his feet, without saying, Eshu elegba, Eshu, uvri bayi pumwe. And the first boy, whose name was Sea Trouble, knew that there was going to be a great deal of trouble, and he bowed his head and he said, I see trouble. And so it was. Anansi was gone for one day. That became two. For 2 days, that became too many nights. For too many nights, that turned into too many valleys and too many moons. And too many children got too worried. And one night, just before they went to bed, Sea Trouble thought he heard a familiar sound. I said, I call in all my soldiers to the front line. Hope you have your army and you're ready to shine. And he closed his eyes and he saw his father and he called his brothers and he said, I see trouble. I see father in a great deal of trouble. And he got out of bed and he got his coat, that beautiful coat in the black, the gold, and the green. And his second brother got up and he got his coat with the nutmeg in the middle. And his third brother got up and he got his coat with the golden arrowhead. And his fourth brother got his coat with the trident. And his fifth brother, he got his coat with the stars and the stripes. And the last boy, who hadn't discovered his purpose, he didn't know of any special coat to take, so he just went as he was, round and soft and chubby. And they walked for many days that turned into many moons, and many moons that became too many valleys. And many valleys that turned into a huge mountain, so big, they couldn't get over it. So why? They couldn't get around it. I want to know if the blood inside your vein is real, but they heard their father's voice, road builder. Road builders stepped forward, and in no time, they had built a road through that mountain. And they walked to the end of that road, and when they got to the end of the road, what do you think they saw? A great river. It must have been raining somewhere. And they were about to turn back when there was their father's voice. I want to know if the blood inside your vein is real. And River Drinker stepped forward, and in one gulp, he had swallowed that river. And in the bed of that river, they saw a fish, like no fish they had seen before, with a great big belly that heaved. And that boy, the one with the trident, the one who was the best fisherman in the whole wide world, he took out that trident and with one swoop, he had cut the belly of that fish wide open and out plopped Anansi. Oh, he couldn't breathe. I can't breathe. And all the boys knew they had to step back and allow their father to get a breath of fresh air. Wrong mistake. Because just as they did that, they heard a terrible sound from up in the sky. And when they looked up, they saw a bird like no bird they had ever seen before. It had a great big long beak. It had red eyes. And I don't mean red eyes like if you have conjunctivitis, doctor. I don't mean red eyes as if you have been smoking that thing. I mean red eyes the way we mean grudgeful and bad man. Red eyes. And white and blue feathers. This red, white, and blue apparition circling over Anansi, and all the boys said, that's okay. We know what he wants. He wants this beautiful coat that belongs to the father of the nation, with the might of the black, the red, and the green. But we wear that all the time, and so we can make another one. But no, that's not what this bird wanted. He wanted the father of the nation, and he swooped down and picked up Anansi, and that boy who loved to throw stones, like Papa Bookman, he picked up a stone and he hurled that stone and it connected in the middle of the forehead of that awful bird who opened his mouth and out plopped Anansi, falling to the earth. And Cushion discovered his purpose. Cushion rolled over just where Anansi was about to fall, and Anansi had this very soft landing. What a celebration there was. And all the boys went home and celebrated with their father, who said, you know, I didn't find the perfect place to set up my business, but I did find this round, shiny thing. And I want to give it to the boy who did the most to bring me back. Well, you can imagine the confusion in the land because each boy thought he had done the most to bring his father back. Now in Anansi's village, when you have a problem you can't solve, you refer it to the Council of Elders. And so they went to the Council of Elders who met for 3 days. And at the end of the 3 days, they told Anansi what to do. And Anansi called all his children. I said, I call in all my warriors to the front line. Hope you have your army and you're ready to shine. And all the boys gathered around because now each boy knew he was going to be the one on whose grace the Council of Elders had been pronounced. And Anansi said, one moment. The Council of Elders wants me to thank you, Sea Trouble. Because if you couldn't see trouble, nobody would know where I was. And Sea Trouble puff up his chest, because now it must be him to get this shiny thing his father had found. But Anansi said, but if your brother didn't know how to build roads through the mountains, then you couldn't find me. Of course, road builder. Step, said Anansi, not so fast. If your brother couldn't drink the river when you found it, I'd still be there. And if your brother hadn't walked with his trident to open the belly of that fish, no one would find me. And if your brother hadn't called upon Papa Bookman when he hurled that stone, that bird would have left with me. Cushion rolled over, and Cushion discovered his purpose. So you see, everybody did the most to bring me back. And the Council of Elders said, this thing that I have found, I'm to put it in the sky. In the day when you see it, you are to call it the sun. In the night when you see it, you are to call it the moon. But always when you see it, the Council of Elders want you to remember that you are brothers and sisters. We need one another, and your purpose cannot be fulfilled unless all of us work together to answer the call. And so I'm calling all my soldiers to the front line. I hope you have your army and you're ready to shine. I said I'm calling all my warriors to the battlefield. I want to know that the blood inside your veins is real.
Excellent, excellent.
Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Meeks, we're ready. We're ready for the front line. We're ready.
I want that song.
Yes, 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 you will all have it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
Great job.
Thank you, Dr. Meeks. Brilliant as usual.
Bless you.
Well delivered, well put together. And we're at the end. We're at the end. We just want to remind you that storytelling will be next month. Hopefully, we would focus on things of the heart. And remember, it's Caribbean folklore. Caribbean folklore. We're inviting all your storytellers, contact us so we can fit you in. Everybody may not get fit in at the same time because we have a whole in-house storytellers that people literally call and come and ask for. Now, we relate, so you guys would have to go and check out the reactions, the video that we showed at first. Reactions to Anansi, and any of what you saw here will be available on rampoonradio.com, YouTube, Caribbean Freedom Fighters. Go to YouTube on Caribbean Freedom Fighters or Rampoon Radio, and it's right there. We're hoping that Lion can come in and give us some statistics because this has been shared all over. Thank you guys for coming. I know that it's late and you guys gotta go. Can we have a time check for London, for England? What's going on here? I'm always worried about my sisters abroad and my brothers abroad. What's going on here?
Half 10.
Half 10. Okay, great. Half 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would ask Mr. While we wait for Lion to come in, I want us to put our hands together for all our storytellers because we're way beyond time already. But I would ask at the same time, I would ask Mr. Ricky Thomas. Thank you, Mr. Ricky Thomas. If you can spotlight all our storytellers, just give them 5 seconds. You know they have done an awful job. Take off their time. Spotlight them. Let's go, Dr. Anina. Dr. Anina Baswadi. Dr. Albert Charles. Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Thomas, you can turn the Tobago. Thank you. Hands together, let's go. Nutra, Kimberly Nutra, thank you. Come on over, Mr. Darling. Thank you. Hands together. No. Let's go, Ashley Richard. Let's go, Mr. Dollar. Let's go, Mr. Lion comes in and give us that thing. Mr. Anna Small, Barbados. Happy birthday, Amma. Happy birthday tomorrow. Thank you, Arvin. Thank you.
And the video is
Sorry Green. A kite bell race. Sorry disappeared on us?
Yeah. That'll be good. He's gone.
No, Sari is here. Sari is right here. The beautiful Sari is here. Sari Green. Woo! So who are we missing? Sari and Yeah, Lisa Thomas. Guys, well, we met Astrid Bulling and Simon Green, and Kelly and Julie Set, and that is to no fault of their own. Our Caribbean storytellers, we do deliver. We do deliver.
The young boy.
He left, he dropped out a little bit. I'm not too sure what's happening. I'm a call, can you hear from me, please?
All right. And I know you can hear me.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, see you guys again. Now we have Rampoon Radio and the Lion.
Yeah,
Lion.
so I'm just here. Thank everybody and thank you very much. You did all the work. You did plenty. Thank you so very much. Thanks to all the storytellers. I know we went over a little time, but don't worry. Dr. Charles, Dr. Anthony, listen, Miss Dr. Meeks, listen. And then we have, I call her the Gang Sarah lady across the pond, and the kids. Listen, some of the comments that came in was so refreshing to see that everybody see that we connect as a Caribbean people. We might be from different islands, but we all can connect in storytelling and that good stuff. So it was very good, and the comments are positive. I will send you guys your individual story. I'll send that to Ann. You get it, you share with your friends as well. And we'll also have it up on YouTube, rampoonradio.com, Facebook, and all that good stuff. So it's there. That you could put that on your portfolio. It's nice. Thank you, guys. See you next month, all right?
But we want to say hi to Miss Aisha. Miss Aisha Worm. I don't see where she disappeared to.
Yeah, the only reason we had to run is because I had to go do a show for Black Stallin's 79th birthday. So, yeah, the show starts right after this. So, thank you. And remember, follow.
Radio.com.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lion. And we'll see you on the other side of Rampoon Radio. Let me stop, guys. I know we want to meet up and talk after, but I don't want us to do that live. So let's say thank you to all the viewers on Rampoon Radio. Thank you to those of you who looked on YouTube, Caribbean Freedom Fighters, and made those amazing comments. We thank you, and we're happy that you spent this 2.5 hours with us. I mean, that was really short, but it was supposed to be, hour and 45 minutes, but we had enough because I am going to be drinking some so real, and I'll be calling on the front. Oh, Dr. Meeks is a snap. We'll talk about that shortly. So let's just say goodbye to the people on YouTube and on Rampoon Radio. We're coming right back. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Old lady, young baby, everybody.